Hey guys, this is Allie here for a little rant. I know I've never really done this on my channel before, but what I'm doing before work, I work in the evening today, and so I was on YouTube like I usually am, checking out some videos, and as you know, we're going to be homeowners soon. So I decided to take it upon myself to start watching some shows to help cut down on the length of your mortgage. My husband, as many of you don't know, was in the Navy for 8 years. So we're going with the VA loan, and we're not putting anything down thanks to the VA loan. So obviously we are going to be in debt for the totality of the land and the home we're buying. So again, I'm looking for ways to help cut down that payment as soon as possible, and a couple other debts that just happen in life. So anyway, I'm watching this Dave Ramsey program, and I've never really watched anything of his before. I've heard about him the last couple years, but just never felt the need to buy any of his books or anything like that. So I really didn't know much about him. So anyway, the program was about a question that came in, whether it would be smarter to rent versus saving up for a house and buying it with cash. And to me, that's an amazing idea, because so many people are buying these $300, $400, $800,000 houses. How in the world do you do that? And, unless you're making a crazy amount of money and no debt in the first place, I don't see how that could happen. But that's just my perspective. If you could do it, oh God, do it. All that interest you'd be saving, do it. And in the comments, as you scroll down, so many people are like, oh, you can't do that. Who's going to save 10 to 15 years for $100,000 house? Who can even get $100,000 house these days? And I've always lived in rural America. There are plenty of homes that are under $100,000. Now, if you live in the middle of a major city, obviously that's not a possibility. And it just kind of got me angry how they were attacking the few people who were planning and in the process of saving up their money. And then I realized, have people lived under a rock the last, 5 years or more? That tiny house movement is massive. And I'm not talking about necessarily an RV, although that is a viable option for lots of people. And have you seen RVs today? They are really nice. And because of the tiny movement, or just because of the times, people want nicer things, there are some really nice interiors, and the exteriors are much more waterproof than they were in years past. So to me, of course, that would seem like a viable idea. If we didn't have kids, I think that'd be kind of cool, not being tied down. And then if, because we have family in Texas, and we have family here in Florida, and I have family up in Pennsylvania. That's where I'm from. So to be able to drive there in your house, it's kind of whimsical, I guess, to me. I don't see anything negative about it, because then you don't have to pay for hotel rooms. You don't have to worry about where am I going to stay, how far away am I going to be. Okay, so the person you want to hang out with most doesn't have the room for you to park it. How many Walmart parking lots are out there? How many campground or RV lots that allow, seasonal renters to come through, have a nightly, daily, fee for super cheap, and even cheaper if they don't, use the water services. I'll just put it that way. And, okay, from there, not just RVs, but these tiny, cute houses. I mean, they're just adorable. They remind you of like a fairy house or, gingerbread house. They are coming up with some really inventive, neat little houses, and they're stupid cheap. I'm talking like $10,000. Now, of course, those are more, I guess you would call it like a fifth wheel. It's more classified as a mobile RV unit, but still, you can set it down in an RV park. You could put it in someone's backyard if they let you, if you were, there's just so many options out there for little houses, not to mention what people are doing with those shipping containers and revamping. There's a huge movement of that. There are people who are learning how our ancestors and the Native Americans and the Native, whatever, all across the world used to have their houses, used to be mud huts, used to be log homes with mud in between, and the earth bag homes. Now they're quite a bit more expensive than a tiny house would be, but there are classes online, there are classes in many towns about how to build your own little home, and all it's going to cost is your time to go foraging in the nearby wooded lots in the town that you're in. I mean, the expense is practically nothing if you are desperate to get in a home and be out of the rental game, and you can get there even faster if you don't mind not having the exact conveniences that we're all used to, like electricity 24 hours a day, or indoor plumbing. Yes, I definitely need my indoor plumbing. I'm not someone who's okay with 100% of my life living without at least a shower in the house or a tub. I need mama time. Any moms out there will know what I'm talking about. Stay away, I'm taking a shower, I'm taking a bath. This is mom time. Go away or you're gonna see crazy, and no one wants to see mama crazy. I'm sure it's that way for at least one person in your house, even if it's only you. So, I guess, it just bewilders me how insensitive everybody can be online. That, his ideas are stupid because they're not what I think is the right way to live, or she's stupid because she's listening to this financial guru who has absolutely zero debt and is way wealthier than they are, at least assumably. Anyway, and buying a tiny home isn't the only way to save yourself money. There's a million ways. Even when we were living off of just his paycheck, because the money I would have made wouldn't have paid for 2 kids in daycare. What did I do? I went online and I looked up ways to bring in money. I tried to do the mystery shopping, and that just was a flop with the company that I used. The mystery shopping just didn't work out for me. But then again, it was back in the early 2000s, and it was beginning, so there was a lot of, I guess, fraudulent companies coming up, and I probably just got into one of them. Plus, I couldn't go out and spend money all the time. Most of the places they wanted me to mystery shop were retail establishments, and the majority of the places I went shopping were grocery stores, because I was smart enough not to buy things we didn't need. That's a clue, people. If you wonder why you don't have a lot of money in the bank, look around. Are you buying stuff you don't need? That's probably why. It's one of the biggest reasons. And then if you try and yard sale it, you're going to be lucky if you get half of the worth that you originally bought it for, even if you just bought it 5 weeks ago in the store. What else did I do? I made my own cleaners now for almost 10 years. I have used a simple water and vinegar solution to wash all of my surfaces, clean my surfaces, including my stove, my bathrooms, and stuff like that. Why? Why not use scrubbing bubbles and all that? Do you know how cheap vinegar and water and $1 bottle is? Stupid cheap. And it works. Is it as strong? Can I just go whoosh and be done? No, not generally. But you let it sit there for a minute or two, and it does the work for you. Then you get in there and you scrub. You use your elbow grease, and it's clean. What about germs? A simple pH change kills germs. Vinegar is very acidic. Many bacteria and viruses cannot live in an acidic environment. At least not as acidic as vinegar. What else did I do? I learned to make my own dishwasher detergent. That took a little while. It took, how long have I done that now? 5 years, maybe more. I've made my own dishwasher detergent and my own laundry detergent, not the water stuff. I never actually saw that until after I made my powdered version, and I made quite a few versions over the years, and I finally got into the rhythm, got my right recipe for Pennsylvania, the hard water we had, and very mineral, calcium, iron heavy. Even on city water, it was like that. Down here in Florida, it's incredibly softer. For whatever reason, it's softer water. And I now can back off of the borax if I want. I could completely take that out of my recipes and replace it with either more washing soda or baking soda, which is really nice. I now have by the way, just a quick trick. For those who are in really high humid climates like me in Florida, and you put citric acid in your dishwasher detergent, like pretty much all the recipes out there are, keep it separate. Don't keep it together. They don't react to one another if they're not in contact. So what I do is I've now put my salt, borax washing soda in my pre-wash cup and my citric acid in my main wash cup. I don't even need to use vinegar in the rinse cycle anymore. It's worked out really well, and I'm very happy with it. Just keep that in mind if you're in a humid climate and you're like, why is it always fizzing? It just doesn't work as well. No, it doesn't, because the acid from the citric acid and the alkali from the borax and the washing soda will neutralize each other. So yeah, there's more alkali, so it does do the job somewhat, but it's not as effective. That's why you have two opposing pHs neutralizing each other. So all that just to say, keep your citric acid and your alkali separate until you actually start doing the dishes in order to make sure it still works. I really don't know how else to close out this rant except to say that I have taken this as inspiration to show you some of my tips and tricks to keep my house clean and spend way less money than most people do than we used to spend just to keep our house clean. And that's definitely going to be something I do. I also recently made a soap, so I'll probably do a video on that and show you my failures just as much as my successes. I've had quite a few successes with my soap, and this last one, I don't know if there's a tie, so to speak, in the soap world where it's not exactly a fail, it's not exactly a win, but let's just say I tried to put too much melt and pour in my cold process soap. The melt and pours, for those of you who don't know, is the clear, opaque stuff where you can put some color in it, but the light shines through. And I tried to mix that in with my cold process, and it didn't work. But now I know what to do in the future when I do put it in. So, this is Allie saying, thanks for sticking around for the rant. Sorry if it wasn't your cup of tea. Give me comments, what you do like, what you do want to see, so I know what to do in the future. Again, future videos will definitely include more soap making, so you guys can see anyway, and definitely cleaning tricks and saving money tips. I hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you later. Bye.